What's up, Speak For Yourself listeners? It's your boy Shay Sharp, co-host of FS1's Undisputed. I wanted to tell you about my new podcast, Club Shay Shay, where we always do something before two something. Each week, I sit down with a guest for a drink and conversation, and as host and proprietor of Club Shay Shay, I've welcomed in esteemed guests such as Snoop Dogg, Floyd Money Mayweather, LeVar Ball, Isaiah Thomas, just to mention a few. Whether I'm talking to an athlete, a musician, an actor, or a lifelong friend, Club Shay Shay is a place where people share inspiring and motivational stories about their journeys to prominence. The new episode drops every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to Club Shay Shay now and make sure you never miss a new episode. Now, back to Speak For Yourself.
And welcome to Speak For Yourself, the takeover. I'm Marcellus Wiley, and I'm telling y'all right now, I am a walking IR. Yeah, that's right. I am stiff on purpose right now. My neck's on fire.
My dog Marcellus, he got a crick in his neck. Hey, Marcellus, stare straight and look left.
Yes, sir. What the hell? That's Emmanuel Immaculate Acho. I can see that you look good today.
My dog.
Hey, man, don't have kids. That's all I got to say. My son whooped my... Let's get to our top story delivered by Pizza Hut. Order today at pizzahut.com. My neck and my back. Russell Wilson was recently named the Walter Payton Man of the Year, but he does not sound happy about the current state of his Seahawks. Wilson has been sacked nearly 400 times in his 9-year career. Good Lord. And said, quote, "I'm frustrated about getting hit too much." This followed reports that teams have called the Seahawks about a potential trade. Russ was asked if he's available for a trade and said, quote, "I'm not sure if I'm available or not." That's a Seahawks question. So, Acho, you blame Russell Wilson for being frustrated with the Seahawks?
So, we're going to have fun today, man. Outside of the crick in your neck, the jokes are about to be had.
The crick in my neck?
Yeah, Russell Wilson, he should be frustrated. I don't blame him at all. He should be livid. Really? In fact, if I'm Russell Wilson, I'm realizing now, wait a second, you can buy a Super Bowl. Everybody told me my whole career that you can't buy a Super Bowl. You have to build and draft, and it takes years to develop. But you're Russell Wilson, and you're looking over there south a little bit, you're in Tampa, and you're saying, wait a second. They acquire Gronkowski in the offseason, acquire AB midseason, acquire Fournette in the preseason, acquire Tom Brady in the offseason, and they just won a Super Bowl. Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks are since Russell Wilson got drafted. Yet he has the same amount of Super Bowl wins Tom Brady has in Tampa. Marcellus, you love track, and it's early in the show for us to go there, but we're going to go there. If Russell Wilson and his team, the Seattle Seahawks, are miles, at least a half a lap ahead of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because the Seahawks are the winningest organization in the NFC since they got there, and the Tampa Bay Bucs are amongst the losingest organizations in the NFC over the last 10 years. How in the world, in 1 year, does Tampa go from worst to first? And I'm not talking about in the division. I'm talking about in the entire NFL. I'm talking about in the NFC as you look at the body of work. So if I'm Russ, I'm heated. I'm heated because I'm looking at another team go purchase a Super Bowl. But number two, I'm heated because, wait a second, I was working out with AB all off season. I was putting my reputation on the line was Antonio Brown was the dregs of society. I was working out with that cat when nobody was even checking for him.
Great.
I wanted to sign him. And now the Buccaneers go sign him. Who catches a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl? Antonio Brown. Like Marcellus, Jesus and Russell Wilson, the two men perceived to have lived this life without sin. Those two men. And Russell Wilson put his whole reputation on the line for AB, and he don't get none of the benefits of it. So if I'm Russell Wilson, I'm not just upset. I'm livid because I understand I'm doing everything I can, and I'm not winning Super Bowls, plural. But Tom Brady just hopped over to Tampa real quick, and he already got one in the NFC. Nah, make that make sense.
You know what? I am going to make it make sense. Flip the coin over, brother, because it's another way to look at the same situation. I'm blaming Russell Wilson. I'm blaming Russell Wilson for all the success that they had up there, and I'm also going to blame him for the issues that they have up there. You are not absolved of guilt or blame when it comes to us looking at this properly. Look at Russell Wilson. Now he on Zoom now, telling all his problems to the world like we could fix them. Like, dog, none of us out here gonna block for you. None of us out here gonna catch these touchdowns for you. None of us have anything to do with that. But you want to win the narrative right now. It's interesting. It's only been one time in his illustrious career when Jesus actually didn't walk on water. There was one time I was looking at him and he's trying to win the perception game instead of the reality game. It was one time. right before that contract. You remember right before that contract, all that New York talk, oh, him and his wife, they need to go to a bigger market. Whatever that was the only time I saw some dust being kicked up by Russell Wilson. And here we are again, kicking up dust. You know why he's kicking up dust?
Why?
Because he wants something. He wants to be protected. He wants a better team. He wants all of that. But guess what, big dog? You have more to contribute to that being fixed than talking about it and thinking we're going to help you. Let me talk about bad Russell Wilson. Because every time we hear him talk, we're like, he's such a likable guy. Every time we see him play, we say, man, he's drawing up in the dirt and making something out of nothing. But let's also talk about the same guy who has lost 4 of his last playoff games. Ooh, are there trade rumors because Russell can't get it done when it matters most? Don't forget his beginnings, being carried by a running game, being carried by a defense. Let Russ cook. Okay, we let him cook. Last 4 of our 5 playoff games, L's. What about him in the playoffs in general? He's 3-5, averaging 245 yards per game and just 61% of his passes. Is that MVP level? Hell no. What about this year? Starting off on an MVP pace. How did that finish off? Didn't finish off just like it started. I'm looking at Russell Wilson as simply a guy who can't look at it all in perspective and take responsibility from beginning to end. He wants to piece together what sounds good to us. He wants to piece together what sounds good to the organization. But the organization is not stupid. They're looking at everything that is going wrong with their team. And as crazy as it sounds, Russell Wilson, you're part of the problem as well.
I think that is ludicrous, Sal.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm with you when you say Russ is looking at everything around the organization, and he's also looking at the organizations that have won. And he's looking at Tampa saying, what did Tampa need most? A winning franchise caliber quarterback.
Okay.
They got that. What do we have in Seattle? Who am I? It's Russell Wilson, a winning franchise caliber quarterback. We got that. But what did Tom Brady get? Help. He got help. He got a
He was the help. He was the help.
He was part of the help.
The part.
Right.
He was
all of even in the Super Bowl game itself, Tom Brady was the 3rd, 4th, or 5th most important player. Nick Wright said he was the 9th. I disagree with that. He said that prior to the show. But I would say that Tom Brady was around the 4th most important player after the likes of Devin White, after the likes of Vita Vea. But Tom Brady got help. Russell Wilson is like, hey, now, you giving other people pieces and winning chips. I have put us in position every year to win a chip with what to show for it, Sal. Like, I fully understand Russ's frustration because Russ is so intelligent. He's looking at it like this. Russ knows, he's self-aware. When you think of Russell Wilson, what do you think of? Super Bowl, but he got carried to it. Married to Sierra. And that's straight up.
That's the order?
That's the order.
Good Lord.
He got carried to
Tell him on yourself.
Married to Sierra. And then you think about the interception he threw in the Super Bowl. In any one of those orders, that's the order in which I think about it. Russell Wilson knows, like, yo, I need a couple more grandiose accolades. I need a couple more huge monuments that are sitting in the back of my screen when I'm on my Zoom calls. When you go to Tom Brady's Zoom call, you see MVP awards. What you see, Russell Wilson? Walter Payton Man of the Year? Like, that's good. You're a good person, but I'm a good person. That don't mean nothing when it comes to the NFL. Like, I'm glad you're a good person, but the fans ain't worried about that right now. So I don't blame Russ, man. I get it. I get Russ. Russ is being wise right now.
And you know what? I got to toot my own horn. I won Walter Payton Man of the Year 3 times for 3 different teams. But back in our days, they didn't.
It was not a national?
They didn't have the national one. I might have won one. I won 3 different individual times, but I digress. Oh, no help in Seattle, you say.
Not enough.
No help in Seattle,
Not
you
enough.
say. Oh, not enough?
Not enough.
Okay, so when you got Damian Lewis, who started all 16 games as a rookie in the 3rd round, that wasn't help this year. Okay, let's go back to DK Metcalf. That's not helping you. Oh, what about Shaquille Griffin, the Pro Bowler? That didn't help you. Chris Carson, that didn't help you. 27 touchdowns over the last 3 seasons. What about Tyler Lockett, a Pro Bowler? Oh, that didn't help you. What about Metcalf and Lockett, who rank in the top 10 in receiving touchdowns? That didn't help you. Oh, what about the fact that you have the 2nd highest average time in the pocket this season, only to Lamar Jackson? And it's in part because you like to run around, but this is in part because they do protect you somewhat, just a itty-bitty. But if you stayed on script, you stayed on timing, guess what? Things would turn out better. I always tell you this. What's the best offensive lineman? a decisive quarterback,
That's very
right?
true.
Oh, I'm going to say that line about 3 times this show because we're going to talk about other quarterbacks that are complaining. But Russell Wilson, you got some help there. What about Jamal Adams in trade? Is that help? Carlos Dunlap, midseason trade, 5 sacks in 8 games. That help? Quandre Diggs, 8 interceptions in 21 games. Does that help? What about Dwayne Brown, midseason trade, Pro Bowler? Does that help? Russell Wilson, stop playing. But last time I saw Russell Wilson, it wasn't with Sierra. Last time I saw him actually was with Commissioner Goodell up in that
With
booth.
Sierra. She was right next to him.
She was right next to him? Yeah. I was looking at the commissioner and Russell. I don't know. So, I ain't looking at another man's wife like you are. But here's the thing. What I did see when he was on the field, 40.7 completion percentage, 72 passer rating, sacked 5 times. Part of it's your fault because you don't know when to get the ball out. In the wild card game against the Rams. Is that Russell Wilson who thinks others are the problem? What about a passer rating below 100 in each of the last 4 games of the season? Is that Russell Wilson saying others are the problem? What about the first 8 games when you were going to win the MVP, but what had happened was, again, you fall off in the second half and your quarterback rating drops to 89. It's other people's problems. See, this is the problem when you, what do you say? When you point the finger.
Oh, you got 3 of them joints.
3 of them joints.
You got 1 crooked one, though, so it ain't all pointing back at you.
10 years D-line, homie. 10 years D-line. But the point is, Russell Wilson, what happened to the old mindset? And I know I'm old school, I'm conservative. Do your job. And do your job so well that no one could ever look at you as part of the problem. But Russell wants to go with the new school mindset of, I do my job well enough, but you know what? I should go upstairs and lend a helping hand. Maybe they need some help. Well, upstairs is pointing back at you and telling you go back down and do your job better. He's not doing his job well enough.
But, Sal, we can establish Russell Wilson as a top 5 quarterback.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thank you. Okay, now
and a top 5 complainer right now. The hell wrong
now
with
that
you?
we've established he's a top 5 quarterback, he's not the limiting reactor in today's success.
I love when you say that.
Even when you think about the Super Bowl this year, yes, Russell has DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Chris Carson when he's healthy because he was hurt during the course of the season. But think about Tampa Bay and them Bucks. AB, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, plus Leonard Fournette, plus Ronald Jones. Okay, who else was in the Super Bowl with the Chiefs? Miko Hardman, Travis Kelce, plus you got talent with Russell Wilson. Then you got talent galore with these other teams. So, Sal, Russ don't want to go down like Aaron Rodgers done gone down, big dog.
What's that?
Aaron Rodgers hasn't really publicly complained preemptively. He complains retroactively.
I like that.
Man, y'all drafted Jordan Love. Now I'm finna go drink.
I gotta get high.
Yeah, right? Like, now I gotta go do something. But Russell Wilson is like, wait a second. No. Y'all not finna play me with only 1 Super Bowl when it's all said and done. Aaron Rodgers, 13 years as a starter, 1 Super Bowl, disappointment. Woo. Russell Wilson, like, y'all not gonna do me like that. I'm going to proactively let it be known what we need, what I want, what it's going to take to win a chip, because I'm not the problem. Y'all figure out what the problem is, but it can't be Russell Wilson.
It can't be Russell Wilson?
Can't be.
When you're on the most talented team, at least by the Pro Bowl selections, guess who had the most Pro Bowl selections this year? Tied with another team. Guess who? I wonder who. Is it Seattle?
How many? How many?
7. 7 dudes. Hey, I've been on a lot of teams where they ain't had 7, and we were kind of good. Imagine, and we used to sit there. We had more guys like Russell Wilson did. We will be something. Russell Wilson's the type of dude that walks into traffic, gets hit, and be like, why you hit me? Dog, you walked into traffic. Like, you sacking me again, Aaron Donald? Yeah, dog, you hold on to the ball for like 9 seconds. It's going to be helpful for me to come get you. And I love your example, your counterpoint of, well, look at what happened with Tom Brady. I want people to really look at what happened with Tom Brady. Tom Brady for 20 years had no personnel input to the tune of he one time took a pay cut and directed the pay cut exactly at one player in Wes Welker. He said, I'm going to take a haircut. Now, all that extra hair, that's for Wes Welker. Please re-sign him. Did they re-sign him? No. On top of that, they still were going to the Super Bowl and still winning. And Tom Brady directly asked for something he didn't get. That's 20 years of greatness, the GOAT, who didn't get what he wanted. But then everyone going to say, but look what happened in Tampa. Look what happened in Tampa. Oh, how hard is this conversation, Nacho? Hey, Bruce, what's up, Tom? Yeah, man, I know I don't have input on personnel, but I don't know. I know 2 future Hall of Famers that just want to come kick it with me if you allow that. You know, Rob Gronkowski and Antonio Brown. That ain't no personnel input. That's a duh situation. And Bruce Arians like, yeah, I know what I said before, but bring them in. And those were the contributing factors to their Super Bowl.
But let's talk about this. That's my final point. We have to talk about addition. We have to talk about subtraction.
Okay.
Because by the Seahawks not getting AB And let's not make light, Marcellus, of everybody thinks about this Antonio Brown. The current Antonio Brown ain't been in trouble publicly in about 6 to 7 months, so ain't nobody really tripping.
Yeah.
Russ was working out with AB when AB was like untouchable.
Yeah.
Like AB was 2 months removed.
Oh, you helped build him up.
No.
What you say?
But Russell Wilson jeopardized his perfect image. Oh, my God, Russell Wilson. Because just to hang out with AB is to now catch some slander. Like, it's some dudes right now just to be associated with AB is to catch slander. So Russell Wilson put himself out there in hopes that Pete Carroll and John Snyder, you would do what Bruce Arians went and did. Not only did y'all not get AB, then the Bucs went and got AB and got better. Imagine how much better maybe the Seahawks would have been if you would have honored. Russell Wilson did the legwork. He said, hey, I'll take the reputational hit. Pete Carroll's not even on you. Snyder's not on you. I'll take the rep hit. I can own that. My shoulder's broad enough to carry this weight. And they didn't even honor and acknowledge that.
Honor what? Why? They had 2 receivers that over 1,000 receiving yards and 10 touchdowns this season. Hey,
you knew that.
I respect that, but you acting like Tom Brady went out there and did something that you couldn't do. Because guess what you did? You took the most talented team by Pro Bowl selections nowhere. So why give you more talent if you can't even work with the talent you have? No one had more talent on their roster in terms of having a great season. They had 7.
But you don't mean that.
What I don't mean that.
You know more teams had more talented rosters than the Seahawks.
I know they had.
You told me this before.
No, first of all, I don't know what I told you before. That was before the neck injury or after the neck injury because I'm a different dude right now. I'm going to say this, though. Russell Wilson, here's a word to the wise. Improve your game. Here's a word to the wise. Stop continuously extending plays and listen to all the praise you get when you're off script, when you're not on time. Hey, Russ, stop trying to always cook and stop making up hashtags or supporting hashtags. Stop focusing on the MVP vote that you're never going to get as long as you keep focusing on the MVP vote. How about you do this? Stop being enamored with your deep ball because it's the best deep ball in the game. But guess what? Take what the defense gives you. And more importantly, take this advice that I'm giving you. Coming up, the Patrick Mahomes hype train was at an all-time high before the Super Bowl. We'll tell you if it's time to pump the brakes. Next, speak for yourself. You're damn right. Hey, Speak for Yourself listeners. I wanted to tell you about our brand new Fox Sports app and website, foxsports.com. Reimagined for the modern sports fan. Go ahead, download the new app now. You don't even have to pause this episode. Every day on the new app and website, you'll see the top stories in sports, plus a rich world of written content, videos, social media, and analytics to give you a 360-degree view of the most important stories of the day. Streaming live TV has never been so easy or elegant. Every Fox Sports game, including all pregame and postgame shows, are just one click away. For the extra invested fan, we also go deep with real-time wagering lines, trending prop bets, win probability, and key player projections. So download the new Fox Sports app or visit www.foxsports.com.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Now, Marcellus has gone on and on this week about how bad Patrick Mahomes has been in the Super Bowl.
He did.
And I'm getting kind of tired of it. So, anyway, Mahomes picked the wrong game to lose for the first time in his career by double digits. And his Chiefs were obviously not able to repeat. Now, take a look at the difference for Mahomes in the regular season and his 2 Super Bowl appearances. His completion percentage and passing yards per game are much higher, and his passer rating is the highest in the NFL history, in the regular season, that is. So, Marcellus, let me go ahead and concede to at least having this uncomfortable conversation.
Oh, nice. I'm in your next book. I can see it. It's coming. Thank you.
Is it time to pump the brakes on a Patrick Mahomes hype?
Yes, hell yes, it's time to pump the brakes on this GOAT conversation that was brewing and certainly this dynasty conversation that was brewing. You know what I hate in this business? And it's only a few things. I hate when likability colors analysis or accolades. I hate that, man. Let me give you an example. I hate when T.O. had to wait, Terrell Owens, to be a 3rd ballot Hall of Famer when all the numbers said he was a top 3 receiver of all time. Should have been a first ballot, right? Sir. But you know what's worse than that? When our likability protects us. When it also makes someone be fluffed over in terms of the analysis. When it keeps people in the media from keeping it 100. Right now, we are going through that. Because in the media that always wants to be first and not always right, this is a rare example where I'm about to be first and right. Patrick Mahomes is in regression, brother, and I don't understand why people don't want to talk about it, but I'm here to bring the smoke. Let's start with everyone is going out there with excuse after excuse. Oh, it was the offensive line. It was the JV offensive line. Oh, it's the Tampa Bay's defense. Oh, it was Todd Bowles. Whatever you want to say, I'm going to talk about another performer who went against that same defense just 2 weeks prior and had a little different in terms of performance. Give me a full screen right here. Let's look at how pressure bursts pipes, but it also makes diamonds in performance. We're talking about Patrick Mahomes going against the Bucs defense and Aaron Rodgers going against that same defense. Who got sacked more? Aaron Rodgers. You can see right there, we got the pressures. Now, Aaron Rodgers, that's the most pressures in your postseason career. And Patrick Mahomes, most pressures in your postseason career. So they were both under duress. But look at that completion percentage responding to that same duress. Look at the passing touchdowns. Come on, Patrick Mahomes, you can't get one? And then more importantly, look at the passer rating in terms of drop-off and difference. Now, the reason I bring that up is because it's the same defense. But what we didn't see Patrick Mahomes do that Aaron Rodgers did was adjust to that tremendous defense. Going into the game, Eric Bieniemy, Andy Reid, and Patrick Mahomes had to know that they were going against a defense that had the most takeaways and also the most pressures. You want to know why? Because I knew it. So if I know it, I know you guys know it. But what were the adjustments? On 92% of their pass plays, guess what they did? Only had 5 linemen out there to protect. Never thought about another tight end, never thought about those adjustments. And everyone wants to say, that's on the coaches. Oh, no, it's not in this offense because they run RPOs, run pass options, the same ones that all year long Patrick Mahomes was bucking what the defense was giving him. Patrick Mahomes, after the Super Bowl, goes on record, finally admitting, I should just take what the defense is giving me. Oh, no, you want to be Superman. You want to throw Hail Marys every play. That's why he was running for his life, because he wasn't on time, on script. Now, let's talk about the regression, because I don't think a lot of people want to really pay notice and attention to Patrick Mahomes and regression. I'm looking at Patrick Mahomes, who had a sub-100 passer rating in 5 of his last 7 games to close the 2020 season. People are like, whatever, he just, was bored, as I've heard. But let's look at how it all culminates in the Super Bowl experience. Remember yesterday I told you his teammates don't believe in him anymore in the biggest moments. First quarter of both Super Bowls, his passer rating combined, 48. Second quarter, he lights it up, 85, which is still below league average. Patrick Mahomes? What about the third quarter? Adjustments, right? Come on, the third quarter, I'm going to light him up. That's what Patrick Mahomes usually does. 32. And no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. What about the fourth quarter? Because everyone remembers he had a great fourth quarter in the first Super Bowl. 78 passer rating, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. You sum all of that up, that is still a passer rating worse than Rex Grossman, brother. What is going on with Patrick Mahomes is simple, bro. I'm going to give you the baton because I got a lot more ammo here. That people are protecting him. People are looking at him and saying he's the next when he's not right now, fully the now. And if you guys don't want to wake up, I'm here to shake you up.
Sarah, I'm glad you prepared that take, man. Unfortunately, that preparation was in vain. Because I have to, Sarah. First and foremost, I'm not going to sit here and defend Patrick Mahomes because I might be biased. I'm not going to necessarily listen to your opinion because you might be biased.
Say what?
But you know who's not going to be biased?
Who?
The opponent. You know who's not going to be biased? The enemy. You know who's not going to be biased in their take of Patrick Mahomes? The person and the team that was out there trying to beat Patrick Mahomes. Because when you watch some of the miraculous plays Patrick Mahomes made over the course of the game, and y'all can run the tapes, if you remember that play, he's scrambling around. He throws the ball parallel to his body. Marcellus starts at the 15-yard line. He avoids a sack. Scrambling to his body. And if you can't watch it right there, just look at the screenshot of Patrick Mahomes when he releases this. Look just the screenshot of how he looks when he... No, it's not likability. From there, Marcellus. Sometimes that ball ended up smack dab in the receiver's head. Yeah. It hit the receiver right in the middle of the forehead. Marcellus, that is Patrick Mahomes making plays. Now, the answer to the question is it time to pump the brakes on Patrick Mahomes' hype?
Hell yeah.
During the course of the game, the audio caught Mike Evans, receiver for the Bucs, not receiver for the Chiefs, saying, wow, Mahomes is unbelievable. The audio caught Chris Godwin, receiver for the Bucks, not receiver for the Chiefs, saying, yo, he's a magician. I'm convinced. I could sit here and listen to your take, but you watched the game from a couch like I did.
Yeah.
You watched the game from Cali like I did. Yeah. We weren't in Florida. We weren't playing against the man. While playing against the man, Patrick Mahomes, the two receivers on the opposing team are in awe. So I'm not going to sit here and not be in awe when the cats with the front row seat are still saying he's a magician and he's unbelievable.
I never knew that you built your analysis that I should build my analysis over the awe factor. Like the awe factor?
Yeah.
What number is that? What is the awe factor? Can't even terminate. What number is that, the awe factor? There's no awe factor to my analysis because I'm not going to be biased. I don't give a damn how cute you look. I don't give a damn how difficult you make it. I had a coach one time, Jack Del Rio, saw a receiver in practice, not so fast, running in training camp, running. I mean, toasting, as fast as he could run. He ain't that fast, but he was running. And they threw a pass, and he dove for it. And the crowd went wild in training camp practice. You remember those? Oh, yeah. Glad we bought our season tickets. Oh, yeah, that was amazing. And Coach Del Rio told all of us, he was like, if he was faster, he wouldn't have to dive. You know what the lesson of that is? Sometimes just be better. You ain't got to make it look so difficult, so magical, so dramatic, Patrick Mahomes. Here's the thing. Let me talk about Patrick Mahomes and regression a little more, because I don't think you understood what I was talking about. And I should start calling him playoff P like Paul George, right? Or meh Holmes. Meh Holmes in the Super Bowl for sure. He's had 7 bad quarters of 8 quarters of Super Bowl play. And I'm giving him one because he won a game. But boy, this is not Patrick Mahomes. These regression numbers this year, let's start with this year and then let's go in career, because I don't think people understand what I'm saying. His regression numbers, this year he had the most pass attempts in the season, but had fewer touchdowns, fewer yards, fewer first downs, fewer yards per attempt, fewer yards per game, and a lower quarterback rating. Marcel's, you're just going to pick 1 year of his career. He's already thrown for 50. He's already won an MVP. You a hater. Another full screen for all y'all out there. It's right there. Look at the 3 years of Patrick Mahomes as the starter. Look how he started off at the bottom, 34.8, 112 rating. Follow that up with a fewer points per game and lesser passer rating. Follow that up with even fewer points per game and a lesser passer rating. I'm not up here to hate. I'm only up here to participate in the industry as it should be. Objective. Let Lamar Jackson. Oh, I brought up my guy because I love Lamar Jackson, but I won't be biased against him either. Need to learn how to throw the ball outside the numbers. Let Lamar Jackson go out there and have these type of numbers in any game, and people will destroy him. Matter of fact, you have destroyed Lamar Jackson. Every time we bring up Lamar Jackson versus the Chiefs, what does your face do?
Yeah, can't beat him.
He can't beat him. He looks horrible, right? You always say, you are sorry.
Can't beat the Chiefs.
You know what his quarterback rating is against the Chiefs? 81.4. You want to know what Patrick Mahomes' rating is in the Super Bowl? 64. So basically, Lamar Jackson against the Chiefs is better than Patrick Mahomes in Super Bowls. Where's the same energy? Where's that criticism?
The difference is, my argument is Lamar Jackson can't beat the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes has literally won a Super Bowl.
Not by his doing.
Let you tell it,
Not by his doing.
Michael Jordan regressed the last 14 years of his career.
Last 2, for sure.
Because he averaged 37 points a game his 3rd year in the league, and he never came close to that number again. So let you tell it, Michael Jordan was in regression from 88 to 2003.
In success?
Patrick Mahomes has success.
Oh, he did this year? This is success?
What's the last game? How can you regress when you're 44-10 over your first 54 starts, NFL record?
We doing
How
that.
can you be in regression when you've won 25 out of 27 games? Only Tom Brady and Jim McMahon. How can you be in regression when you went through 54 straight starts without losing by double digits?
Can you talk about right now?
History.
Can you talk about right now?
All of that concludes to right now.
I love it.
Like all of that complements to right now.
Oh,
right?
really?
All of those stats I'm giving you are factored into right here and right now. So I don't understand how you can say that Patrick Mahomes is in regression. The only manner in which you're saying he's in regression is based upon what? Passer rating? But again,
I gave you every stat there is.
If you want to look at points, like I'm literally looking at with Jordan, every year he regressed. If you want to talk about his high points per game of 37, then 35, then 32. His first 3 years after he started becoming an all-star would have been in regression. That's ignorant of me to say.
Okay.
And it's the same ignorance you would have to
say in all rounds of the playoffs, he's a 116 passer rating, whatever that will be in NBA terms. But then in the Super Bowl, you're 64. What just happened? Hold on, I'm gonna say it again. 116 every time you play somebody. But in the Super Bowl, 64. Oh, okay, interesting. I wonder what they would say about Michael Jordan in those situations, and he was not putting up the same amount of buckets as before. You know what's happening in this conversation? Everyone thinks that Patrick Mahomes has equity. Oh, he already won his MVP. He already won his Super Bowl. So guess what? He's just gonna keep doing it. No, he's not. Early success does not mean future rings, brother. Mahomes is one of 4 quarterbacks in NFL history to make a Super Bowl start in his first 4 seasons. But Brady is the only one who went to a Super Bowl over the rest of his career. Y'all better chill. Talking about this stuff's gonna keep happening. What about teams that went to 3 straight conference championships? Don't they all turn into dynasties? Y'all better chill. Because the Chiefs have done it. Is this a dynasty? No. What about the 49ers in 2011 through 2013? No rings. Was that a dynasty? Nope. What about the Eagles with Andy Reid? He's done this before. 01 through 04. How many rings? Donut. Man, look. All I'm trying to tell you is you're going to be late to the party. The party is not to rain on Patrick Mahomes' parade. The party is to say, have fair analysis of who he is versus who everyone else is. You got to admit, it's starting to sound like a triple layer cake of excuses. And Patrick Mahomes, he becomes the cherry on top.
Patrick Mahomes, if we're giving a fair analysis of who he is, he's the greatest quarterback the NFL has ever seen prior to the age of 26. That's the fair analysis. We've never seen a quarterback win an NFL MVP, Super Bowl MVP, go back to the end, Super
and look
Bowl
so bad
prior to the age of 26. If you want to talk about the whys, sure, he played the number 1 defense in the Super Bowl last year. He played the number 6 defense in the Super Bowl this year. Plus, you get a week off prior to the Super Bowl. So I would assume that your statistics would probably diminish or decrease slightly.
16 to 60? Rex Grossman is decreased slightly.
But the question is the why. The why is, I don't know if Rex Grossman played the number 1 defense. When he was playing the Colts, I doubt they were. I don't think they were the number 1 defense.
I think Aaron Rodgers played the same defense. How'd that turn out? Coming up, the Bucs are partying on boats today. Acho mad at me, I just took his read. We'll tell you if Tom Brady's latest Super Bowl win puts pressure on Bill Belichick. That's next. Speak for yourself. Mad at me?
Hey, Speak for Yourself listeners. It's Charlotte Wilder here to tell you about my new podcast with Mark Titus called the People's Sports Podcast. It comes out every Thursday, and Mark and I take one of the big stories of the week, and then we go off on tangents you never saw coming. This might mean that we start talking about the Dodgers winning the World Series and end up wondering if Knicks fans deserve happiness. Or begin with LeBron's greatness and end up drafting our ultimate beer league softball team made up of old athletes. Whatever it is, the only rule of the show is that it has to be fun and funny, because these days we can all use as many laughs as we can get. So check it out wherever you get your podcasts and come down weird sports rabbit holes with us. We can't wait to have you. Now, back to Speak for Yourself.
New tracks, new teams, and a new champ. The 2021 NASCAR season starts in just 4 days with the Great American Race, the Daytona 500, Sunday, only on Fox. Welcome back. And the Bucs rewarded for their winning in the Super Bowl is they get a boat parade today. Look at that out there. Jealous. Tom Brady gets to party with his 7th Lombardi trophy, while in New England, the season went in the opposite direction, with Bill Belichick finishing with his worst record as Patriots head coach since 2000. But he still has a boat. So, Acho, does Brady winning the Super Bowl put pressure on Belichick to win another title?
No doubt about it, Sal. You don't get a second chance at a first impression.
What you know, the Head and Shoulders commercials?
I've been reading a book of Wileyisms. You don't get a second chance at a first impression. Tom Brady's first impression away from Bill Belichick was, again, elite ultimate success.
You ain't lying there.
Bill Belichick's first impression away from Tom Brady was 7-9. It was terrible management as a general manager. It was lackluster management as a head coach. But I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go ahead to the second layer, because we ain't got all this time to talk about the nonsensical nonsense. Why is nobody talking about the Patriots having the most opt-outs in the NFL? That's not coincidence. It's not coincidence that the Patriots had 8 opt-outs out of 53 players. Now, y'all do the math. 15% of the Patriots roster opted out. Now, if you want to enlarge that numbers to the 80 or 90 players that report to camp, that's still 10% of Patriots players said, man, I got to go play with Belichick. Nah, I'm going to just stay home with the wife and the kids. I'm going to just stay home with the old lady and the kids. Like 10 to 15% of the roster said, I'm Gucci, including captains. Marcellus, Dante Hightower, Patrick Chung, including Super Bowl champions and all-pro players, were like, wait a second, Belichick? Nah, I'm good. But what did a player who had already opted out from the entire league and Rob Gronkowski do? Oh, I can play with Brady? Count me in. We don't read enough into the fact of, it puts pressure on Belichick because Brady got away from you and he won him one. Everybody else just trying to get away from you, not even for the chance of winning. I'd just rather stay at home than play with you. So, Sal, it puts an abundance of pressure that I'm not sure Bill Belichick can handle because Brady already won one. So if Belichick wins one without Tom Brady, he's just equal. Now you got to surpass that. You got to win at least two to become greater than Brady.
Oh, man, this doesn't put any pressure on Bill Belichick. Let me just say this. They're running two completely different races.
On the same track?
They on the same track, like the 100 meters and the 3,000-meter steeplechase is on the same track, too. But, hey, when the 100 about to start, we all at the fence. We doing it. And when the 3,000, what we do? Parking lot, bathroom, snack stand. They still running and hopping and jumping in water. Bill Belichick is running the steeplechase. It's going to take a lot longer to see who wins his race. And that's what I want to give you, perspective and some patience. All those Patriot players that opted out, they wasn't running from Bill Belichick as much as they were running from them bums they were going to have to play with. Think about it. We assess our team before the analysts assess our team. We know how good. The coach was like, we're going to run the tables. You were like, man, we're going to run and hide because we ain't got it this year. These dudes knew that this team was supposed to be sorry. They didn't even get a quarterback till July, bruh. And then they got Cam Newton, and Cam Newton wasn't exactly who Cam Newton should have been this year. 7-9 despite all of that. 4 close games that will make you 11-5. Belichick at his worst is 7-9 with 4 close ones. And when I say close ones, I mean to the 1-yard line. Hold your breath and bite your fingernails. So don't act like this is pressure on Bill Belichick. But since you want to act like that, now I got to come back at you, big dog. Listen to this nugget right here. There have been 5 quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl with multiple different head coaches. Did we think less of those other 4 head coaches? You tell me, did you think less of Bill Cowher when Ben Roethlisberger won another title with Mike Tomlin? Did you? Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay. You better not, because I know Bill Cowher. I'm going to tell him. What about Bill Walsh? Respect. I know you're not going to go here. Montana said, I'm going to do that with Seifert, too. Nah. Bill Walsh is a bad coach now, the Acho. You ain't going to go there. What about Tony Dungy, the great? Oh, Peyton Manning did that with Gary Kubiak. You look at Dungy like, psh. Man, you crumb. What about Jimmy Johnson when he saw Aikman do it again with Barry Switzer? And in all those situations, except maybe Tomlin, I would say the second coach to win the Super Bowl is lesser than the first coach. But now Acho wants to throw shade. Make it make sense.
I'm going to make it make sense, big dog.
Make it make sense.
I'm not going to run with the narrative that other people feed me. I can't get into the Bill Walsh argument as much as I can the Belichick argument because full transparency, your boy was born in the 90s.
Oh.
So I watched all the Belichick games.
Oh, really?
I grew up.
You watched all the Jordan games, too. You brought that up last block.
I'm not going to sit here and try to go blow for blow with you when you was in the 60s. I'm not going to go blow
I'm
for blow.
the reason you on this show in the first place. Black History Month. You better be respecting me, my old ass.
Now, look, Sal, what I will say is this, though.
What?
I can't necessarily remove the doubt in my head of what would have happened without Belichick. That's what had happened. When you talk about court cases, when you talk about anything, what is it? Reasonable doubt.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like, is reasonable doubt.
Yeah,
That's
what
I'm
you're
at.
saying right
What's
now.
up with the reasonable doubt?
Not reasonable.
There's reasonable doubt of Tom Brady. Could you have won more without Belichick?
Boy, stop.
How can you not wonder?
Pick 199?
Sal, dude went to Tampa at 43 years of age with the head coach who had never won a chip, an OC who would never won a chip, only be an OC for 3 years, with players coming out of retirement, with players in the midst of personal chaos, and he won a chip at 43. I don't get. We would be taking something away from Tom Brady, in all seriousness.
Okay.
We would be taking something away from Tom Brady to assume he couldn't have done this with somebody else.
I get that.
Let's be real. We be taking something away from Brady, and I ain't going to take that away.
Yeah, that was real. Don't try to pull at my heartstrings.
Coming up,
that was corny.
Russell Wilson wants to stay in Seattle's personnel decision, but we're going to tell you if that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's next. Speak for yourself.
Can't pit me against Brady or Belichick. Nope. Not gonna let you.
Black History Month is a perfect time to reflect on all of our Black heroes. I wanted to talk about a personal hero of mine, Florence Griffith Joyner. She's a huge inspiration to me and was my sports idol growing up. She is the fastest woman of all time. She still holds the world record she set in the 1988 Olympics for both the 100-meter and 200-meter. Not only was she a dominant athlete, she was a fashion icon and designer. She embodied strength, passion, and style in a fearless and unapologetic way. Her power, beauty, and strength inspired me as a Black woman and an athlete. She was the fastest, the boldest, and is still the very best in history.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Deshaun Watson is at odds with the Texans for not having a say in their hiring of their new GM. Well, now we can add Russell Wilson to the list of superstar quarterbacks who want a seat at the table for personnel decisions. Reports say head coach Pete Carroll involved Wilson in the search for the Seahawks' new offensive coordinator. And yesterday on the Dan Patrick Show, Russ said he wants that decision-making to continue. Y'all take a listen.
For me personally, I think that I want to be able to be involved because at the end of the day, it's your legacy, it's your team's legacy, it's the guys you get to go into the huddle with. I think it helps. I think it helps to be involved more.
So, Sal, let's talk through this one. Should Russell Wilson be involved in the Seahawks personnel decision?
Nope. Like Kendrick Lamar says, sit down, be humble, and know your role. Boy, what is Russell Wilson thinking? What is in this water today with these young superstar quarterbacks that think that they're doing their job so well they need to go upstairs and help somebody else do their job? How about you do your job perfectly, and then you take your butt upstairs and try to help somebody else do their job? Oh, you're not doing your job perfectly, so sit down and be humble. And everybody is trying to use Tom Brady as the reason why, or the justification of where they getting this new energy from. Oh, well, Brady went to Tampa, man, and then he brought Gronk out of retirement, and he got AB off the streets, and boy, they win the Super Bowl. It's not a hard sell to get 2 future Hall of Famers anywhere. Now, Russell Wilson's like, I want personnel influence. Have you ever had it? Y'all won a Super Bowl, and y'all were in 2. Did you have it then? No. Russell, what makes you think that you getting any input into personnel decisions will help us go forward? No evidence. He has no resume of doing this. So it's a simple situation to me. He getting gassed up, just like everybody else. You ever have a friend or just witness people, when they hear your situation, they hear your complaint, they say, man, if I were you, what would you do if you were me? People are right now looking at Russell Wilson, and they're ignoring this Wileyism that I have right now. And I like to go to this Wileyism right now. Never, and I say never as I show my beautiful face, fuel somebody else for a ride you can't or won't take. People be gassing you up for something they ain't gonna do. You work at Home Depot. Yeah, stay at Home Depot. Do you call Arthur Blank and be like, you know what, Arthur? This lumber out here, I'm telling you, we need to get a different price point. Stay your butt on the Home Depot floor. Russell Wilson, stay on the field, ball out. And that's about as much control as you need.
So I'm gonna take you and everybody watching through a little mental calisthenics. Make y'all think and work on this block. If you were to build a team, regardless of the quarterback, who are you taking, Mike Evans or Rob Gronkowski? Right now.
Who's my OC? Oh, okay.
Right now.
Right now?
Yeah, like right now.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans.
Okay.
Right now, again, coming off last season, who are you taking to start the season, Chris Godwin or AB?
AB.
Even though Chris Godwin third in the league in catches?
I know, but I don't trust him still.
That's fair.
I trust AB.
I say that to say this. The more talented player we know right now is Mike Evans. Even Tom Brady came in at the beginning of the season and says, Mike Evans, surefire Hall of Famer. I understand you taking a 31-year-old AB coming off of personal issues, but Chris Godwin was third in the NFL in receiving yards last year. Now, let me wonder and pose this question to you, which I had to ponder this morning.
Let's go.
In the Super Bowl, who scored all of the touchdowns?
All the newcomers.
Rob Gronkowski, homeboy's best friends with Tom Brady. AB, who lived with Tom Brady. Leonard Fournette. Soon as he gets acquired by the Buccaneers at Tom Brady's house in the middle of a pandemic. I say that to say success isn't necessarily dependent on the talent. It's dependent upon the chemistry of the talent. So if you're Russell Wilson and you're the nucleus to success, then it's not just about the talent you have around you, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Chris Carson, but it's also dependent upon the chemistry of said talent. Marcellus, Nick Foles, inseparable. Like them dudes, homeboys through and through, always and forever. There's a reason Zach Ertz catches a game-winning touchdown for the Eagles' first Super Bowl in the history. Maybe he was the #1 read, maybe not. But you know what? You know who Nick Foles, the quarterback, Super Bowl MVP, is going to go to in that moment? The dude he trusts, the dude who he rocks with. Who did Tom Brady go to? Mike Evans had 1 catch for 31 yards in the biggest game of his life, but he's the most talented offensive player on that roster. But Tom Brady went to Gronk because he trusts him. He had those personnel decisions, if you will. Bringing all of this full circle, the Seahawks' success may be limited not necessarily by talent, but not by giving Russ enough say-so in who he wants to work with. Because at the end of the day, the coaches don't cross the white lines. So who the heck do you want to work with? When it comes down to this show, yeah, you might have been able to make do with whoever was in this seat, but you know you called the execs upstairs and you said, hey,
did I?
Gotta get out.
Wait a minute.
Because this show is going to be better.
Oh, we got to come back to this topic another day. I ain't letting this dude win with that.
Russell Wilson.
They didn't even take my call.
Jimmy has something to say about the Seahawks. That's next.
Oh, we're going there now. Before we go, Uncle Jimmy joins us. Russell Wilson has been in the news a lot this week, and I hear you have something to add. All right, Uncle, get him.
Hey, man, I don't know how in the hell he did it, but Russell Wilson might have ended up with the worst seats in the Super Bowl. Russell Wilson looked like he was at a company-sponsored event, and somehow or another he ended up getting stuck between his boss and his wife. Now, Acho, you ain't married, but trust me, this right here got the makings of some uncomfortable conversation for your ass right here. See, this right here is playing while Russell Wilson looked like he was working security for his wife while she was having a sit down with his boss. Hey, man, Russell Wilson had that look on his face that all men get. Like, oh, sweet black baby Jesus, this woman about to get me fired. Or worse than that, sent to the Jets. Hey, man, somebody tweeted out that Russell Wilson looked more uncomfortable than Emmanuel Acho at a strip club.
I would be.
Hey, Wiley, you know as well as I do that at some point or another, that conversation up in that booth went to, go ahead, Russell. Tell him what you said you was going to do if he didn't get you some help. And another thing, Roger, I couldn't have sang in your little Negro anthem. Hey, Russell looked like now he understands why Cap ain't got no job in the NFL. Now he see.
Hey, Sierra was spilling that pillow talk. That's it for us. Big East basketball, UConn.